I gotta clarify before we start ripping apart Hollywood products that there are real, actual, terrible problems happening in the world right now relating to 2020 and this year. We're just here to talk about how bad movies are.
Nobody cares about the world.
Yeah, this is just our purpose. We acknowledge that there are real problems, but for now we're here to bitch about Hollywood. So, Ian, you're starting off the video. What's your number 5 worst movie of the year?
My 5 worst movie of the year. That's easy. It was the last movie we saw in theaters before fucking all this shit happened. Blood shit. This movie is like what would happen if Upgrade was made by someone with no talent and starred someone with no talent. I saw the trailer for this movie. I'm like, oh, that kind of reminds me of Upgrade. They even did the red color grading for part of the trailer. And I was like, that's cool. You know what? Maybe, even though I don't like Vin Diesel in literally anything where he's live action, maybe, just maybe, I'll be surprised. Because you can be the worst actor on the fucking planet and still make something that's not bad.
Yeah.
Like Uncut Gems. Or that one Mark Wahlberg movie that doesn't suck. The Nice Guys.
Other guys.
No, Other Guys. Thank you. So I'm like, Vin Diesel, I don't like most of what you do. But I will give you a chance because maybe, just maybe, you and your fucking pursed asshole lips will help me enjoy a film. And him and his pursed asshole lips sucked at acting the whole time. The plot is boring. There's no interesting camera work. And it's just Upgrade if like Uwe Boll made it.
Yep.
Like, it's shit.
You're so right.
It's absolute dick. I watch Upgrade and I'm like, I want a shotgun arm. And I watch this movie, I'm like, I want a shotgun arm myself in the head. It's just drivel. None of the characters are interesting. I don't even remember any of their names.
Yeah, I think Bloodshot is a movie that's bad, and then he makes it worse in it.
Yeah,
so he's just
Vin Diesel enhances the bad.
He does.
Because he's like, family. And it's like, oh, wow, you learned how to talk. It's like, great, good job. It's like an elementary school kid. He's like a child actor. His voice roles, I only like them because he doesn't talk, I think.
He has to
and
talk.
I know that
What
sounds mean.
What are you talking about?
He goes, I am Groot, and you stay, I go, no follow. That's his lines! It's just, if he says more than like a couple paragraphs and sentences, I think I lose it, man.
Yeah, they're also both very stoic characters. This
Yeah.
Giant and Groot.
If he tries to have any emotion, it just doesn't work. I think Vin Diesel might be the human embodiment of one emotion, and it's apathy.
Is that an emotion or is it lack of emotion? Because that's what that word
The
means.
lack of emotion is still an emotion. Choosing not to choose is still a choice. Bloodshot it's like the Thor the Dark World of fun.
Mud, what's your number 5?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
that was
do.
it.
My number 5 is Waiting for Barbarians.
Really?
Yeah, holy shit. It's like waiting for the movie to start. Holy fuck. This movie is criminally boring.
Mm-hmm.
There's like half a good scene of him like taking care of the captive woman and then the trade deal. And I get what they were going for of, oh, we make our own enemies. Oh, we turn these people into the savages we say they are. But, you know, like, and they were going for like a hidden enemy thing where we never actually see what they do. But Jesus fucking Christ, is it just this slow, uninteresting fucking piece of ass? Robert Pattinson's barely in it. Johnny Depp's barely in it, and you'd like it for that fact. But, like, when these guys are supposed to be, like, the primary antagonistic forces in the film, and they're not in it for, like, 2/3 of it, it's not a hidden enemy film. It's just a hidden film. Like, there's a whole-ass film happening off-screen of them, like, hunting down these native people. And it's supposed to say something about colonialism, and it just fucking doesn't.
Yeah, you ever get that feeling that was really low budget? Like, they,
Yeah, it
they
was.
couldn't
Like, they had,
afford
like,
anything?
They had deadass. They had one set, which was this castle with a couple rooms in it, and then everything else was filmed out in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know why or who made this movie, and how they got Mark Rylance, Robert Pattinson, and to a lesser extent Johnny Depp, but they did, and it sucked. There's no good performance in here anywhere. Like, even the scene where, like, Robert Pattinson's, like, dressing him down, I was bored.
Also, Pattinson and Depp aren't even in much of it.
Yeah, like I said, they're not in this fucking movie. They're supposed to be the bad guys, and they're supposed to, like, they're making a big deal about how these barbarians are out there, you know, fucking with the colonies, and they need to be taken care of, when, in all actuality, the barbarians are people, number one, and two, aren't doing anything bad. The colonies are just preemptively striking them because they expect, you know, they're othering them. Oh, these primitive people. Movie's called Waiting for Barbarians because they aren't barbarians. But I'm just waiting the whole movie. I'm waiting for it to fucking start.
You took 2 words off the movie, and that's what you're doing, waiting.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think back because God, that movie is so forgettable. I watched it like a few months ago, and
I know.
the one scene I remember being good was Robert Pattinson's introduction scene in The Office.
Yes,
That was good.
that's the so good scene, and even then, he's not. This is post Lighthouse Robert Pattinson for me, so it's like I'm waiting for like
The banger scene.
the banger scene, and
Dark.
he's really he's reserved in the scene. I'm like, okay, I get it. He's playing it close to the chest because his character's gonna unravel. He unravels in like the last 2 minutes, and it's not satisfying in any way, shape, or form. And then you watch The Devil All the Time this year, and
Yeah.
you see his unraveling scene. You're like, this is so much better. This movie sucks beginning to end. It's low budget. I don't know who or what or why this film was made, but it is the only film on this list where its only crime is being boring. But I would argue this is a capital offense and it deserves the electric chair for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Fair
my number
enough.
5.
Wow. Yeah, my number 5 is The Call of the Wilds. I saw this in a drive-in. It was actually, I think, my first drive-in experience in my entire life
Bro, I'm
because
sorry.
yeah, all the movie theaters shut down and stuff, and we were just like, oh, okay, well, my girlfriend and I wanted to go see a movie. We did. It sucked. It was really jarring for a lot of reasons. I'm gonna get into the not as important ones first. I think Harrison Ford, for some reason, he cared about this movie, but not any of the new Star Warses. He tried to make it so that like it's hard to describe because he knows there's nothing there but an actor in a green screen suit. He knows that there's nothing physically there, but he gives it his all trying to act against a dog. I just don't think it's very good acting. I'm sorry, Harrison Ford. You've done great movies. You've done some of the best acted movies maybe ever. You've done some solid work. I really like your stuff that isn't this, but this is terrible. More importantly, the dog. It is juxtaposed against real fucking dogs that don't look as cartoony as the actual dog. I once posed the question to you guys, hey, if they had made the dog real, like a stunt dog, do you think it would have been better? You guys said no. The reverse is true. If they had made the whole movie animated, then the cartoonish expressions of the dog would have been appropriate and fit.
Yeah, I remember that conversation.
Right. I stand by that. I think that's more clear now. Looking back at it, I just think like the only things I really remember about that movie are like the really, really cartoony sledding scenes where he falls down like the cliff in Stowe and gets all snowy. Haha, what a good Pixar time.
What a good boy.
What a good boy. And then Harrison Ford isn't even in the fucking movie. He's in like 10 minutes of the movie, which is weird because he's like trying. It's weird. Like, I thought it was just like a paycheck movie for him. Maybe it was. He wasn't very good. But goddamn, this movie was such a misfire. And it cost, what, $200 million?
A lot.
Why did they think they'd make like 600-700 at the box office at this? Like, I don't understand anything behind this movie.
To further your point here, I don't think they would. 600, 700 million? This movie didn't even deserve $600.
Yeah, I don't
It
think
did
made that
crap.
much.
It did come out pre-pandemic, I believe.
Came out coming into the pandemic.
Coming into it, but like I don't think it would have helped it by not having a pandemic. I don't think it would have like made a lot of money
No, it
regardless.
wouldn't have. A Quiet Place Part 2 was about to drop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, God.
So that was a terrible movie. I give it a 0.
Fuck that. I agree.
Yeah.
Ian?
Oh, I'm talking about Call of the Wild,
Is that
number 4.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to try to keep it brief. The dog, that's not a dog. I'm sorry. I've seen a dog before. You can't convince me.
Well, Ian, you've seen a dog?
Yeah, wow. Shocking. I've seen a dog. That's not what dog looks like. The dog, the animation on this movie makes the dog feel like it weighs 700 pounds.
Holy shit, yeah.
It is completely unrealistic, and it's supposed to be this more grounded, real movie. And I am completely taken out of it by the dog, by Harrison Ford's acting. Jake, you complimented him at all for trying? He didn't fucking try. Are you fucking kidding me? He didn't leave his house for this movie.
He didn't.
He didn't. He refused to film anywhere but Hollywood, like where he lives.
On a
He
studio.
refused.
He did not want to go to Alaska
Yep.
to make the film.
He's like, I want to go to a studio.
Do you think that factored into the 10 minutes of screen time? Because I did.
I think it factors into the fact that, like, I get where he's coming from on that, though, where it's like, you're making a CGI dog, but I have to be in fucking Alaska? Fuck you.
Yeah,
It's-
that's a good point too. Wait a minute.
It's dog shit. How did you think you were going to make money? Why did you make this? What the fuck? That's not what dog looks like. And it's just boring.
And then aside from all the dog shit, the movie just sucks.
Aside from the dog shit, the movie's dog shit.
The movie dog shit. Like, the story is just terrible.
I don't like Call of the Wild the book.
I've never read it.
I went into this movie going,
I've also
I don't
never
like
read
Call of the Wild the book. And then I watched it and I'm like, wow, Call of the Wild the book's fucking Citizen Kane of books compared to this shit.
Yeah.
Because this is dick. Harrison Ford's trying my ass. Number 4, more like number fucking 0.
Mud, what's your number 4?
My
No.
number 4 is The Night Clerk with Ty Sheridan.
Yeah.
Positives in this movie: Ana de Armas has a topless scene. Negatives: the rest of the movie. And I complained about it too. When I was watching it, I was like, "Why are her tits out?"
Mud
This movie
complaining
hasn't-
about the wrong things
I
in
was
the
like,
movie.
"This movie hasn't earned this." It's like, okay, so Ty Sheridan is like super autistic or something. I don't remember. And he's a night clerk at a hotel. And there's
Are
a
you saying that
murder.
to be mean, or is he actually...
no,
No,
that's
that's
the
the
plot of the
character.
movie.
Okay, just making sure.
And like there's a murder and then he's manipulated and then he kills himself and that's the end of the movie. It sucks the entire time. Ty Sheridan delivers his worst
He
performance.
doesn't actually kill himself.
Following morning, Bart walks through the... Oh no, he doesn't die. Whatever. Fuck this movie. Fuck Bart, which is his character's
It's
name.
Bart
because I'm
Ballmer.
looking at it. He like records people and then he has a recording of the murder, but he shouldn't have that because he's like secretly planting GoPros in the room or whatever. And then there's like a bunch of pressure to like cover it up, even though not really. And like there's 2 unrelated plots, but they're related. And the movie makes it clear they're unrelated to the audience, and then people act like it's a shocking thing or something. I don't remember. This movie just sucked. That's what I know. This movie actively pissed me off so much that I forgot how it ended.
Oh
And
my
I was
God.
I hated how it ended, and I still hate how it ends. Because they could have at least done us a fucking favor and had somebody die. I hated it the entire time.
Yeah.
I watched it solely because Ty Sheridan was in it, and that
Yeah.
was a fucking mistake.
And to go on Mud's point for a little bit here, it's not on my list, but it's very close to my list.
Isn't that like one above?
It's like 2 above.
Honorable mentions.
Dishonorable mentions.
This movie has some pretty good actors in it. John Leguizamo's in this movie, and he's not that good in this movie. Fucking Helen Hunt is his mom,
Yeah.
and she's not good in this movie.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Very bad.
As we said in Casino Royale.
My number 4 is Jujitsu. I would like to point out that about a month ago, there was like a 1-day period where several trailers with Tony Ya came out with it. And at the same time, one was for Monster Hunter, one was this. I forget the third one, if there was a third one. But I watched this because of Tony Ya. He's in it. He's the Protector. That's one of my favorite fucking movies of all time. He's in it. And Jiu-Jitsu, much like Extraction, has some spectacular sequences and amazing, amazing action for about 20 minutes of the film. And Tony Ya, this is what made it on the worst of the list. This is what pushed it down. I can't say up. This is what makes it like one of the worst of the year. Tony Ya dies, not to spoil it if anyone cares about this stupid movie, halfway through the movie. Now, I did end up watching it through and through. Tony Ya comes back. I don't really care much about how, but I was just glad that he was there. But it did not save the fact that Tony Ya was not in most of the movie. And that kind of hurt. And also, like, aside from actually how good the jiu-jitsu scenes were, literally every aspect about the movie that was not a fight scene was awful. It was like a child wrote it. It was the worst piece of shit you've ever seen in your whole life. And Nick Cage is in it, and he doesn't know what the fuck movie he's in. He's just playing any character he wants to and any line of dialogue he wants to. It's really tough to get through. So it's easily my number 4 of the year. As far as that should be
Of
clarified.
quality, your 4th favorite film.
Yep, we should clarify. Number 1 is the worst. Number 5 is the
Bottom 5. This is what this is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
number 5's the best. in
quote
quotes.
quote
the
quote.
worst.
That's the worst. So this is the number 4th worst movie of the year.
I get to talk about number 3. There's already a whole video about this movie on the fucking channel.
God.
Oh,
Spencer Confidential, baby.
Oh God.
Remember how I shat all over Vin Diesel and called his lips asshole lips? Imagine what I'm gonna say about Mark Wahlberg. I'm a disgrace to live here because of him.
He does live like relatively close.
I am disgraced to live here because of this man. He is the worst working actor right now.
Have you ever
Like-
been to Wahlburgers?
No, it's
It's good.
probably awful.
I have. It's okay, but it's not like Mark Wahlberg is in the back fucking cooking me burgers. It's
I'm
just a
gonna
guy.
eat. I'm gonna eat the burger, and it's gonna make me question everything for every line of dialogue I ever say ever again.
They serve poor people cheese.
Velveeta. Spencer Confidential is a Netflix movie. Netflix, stop making things. I'm just gonna throw it out there, man.
I don't know because
You make Devil all the time. Don't make Spencer Confidential. Make Devil all the time. Don't make fucking the next movie I'm gonna talk about. Make The Five Bloods. Stop making garbage.
make The Irishman.
fund the Irishman. All of these good things that you do are counteracted by 50 films of garbage. Any movie about Boston normally makes me go, yes, or wow, this is garbage. Like The Town.
I don't know if you'll agree with those ones because Mark Wahlberg's in it, but The Departed.
The Departed's not a bad movie.
Departed's awesome. And you know what? I'll say it. Mark Wahlberg is good in The Departed.
I think he's passable. Like we were talking about. Movies about Boston, if you don't overham garbage it, you can make a competent, fun, good movie. The Town is fucking banging. No, this movie's like Stoughton. Where's the good parts? Nothing is here, man. None of the acting.
Like fucking Taunton.
Winston Duke is in this movie, and I love him, and he's bad, and I apologize to him. Every line of dialogue in this movie is cringy. When they're fucking to Sweet Caroline, and she goes, "Go Sox" when she comes. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's my favorite actor. I love fucking Adam Sandler Netflix comedies. Stop watching movies. You're the problem.
That's true. They fund them. They get them
They
made.
do.
Yeah.
Mud, what's your number?
3.
Yeah, 3. Sorry.
3. Yeah, my number 3 is Blood Shit. Fuck this movie. Our review, I didn't talk for the first 10 minutes because I was just processing how much I hated this film. I hated it. I fucking downright hated it. The entire fucking time. The one redeeming part of this film is that it is insanely short. At one point, I was like, how much time's left in the film? 15 minutes, including credits. That's the only good part. This movie sets up so much thematically. We were talking earlier in a couple videos ago about themes. Wonder Woman 84, great theming. Soul, great theming. This movie, terrible theming. It's like you own a person. You made a person.
Out of another
Not
person.
Gemini Man.
It's Gemini Man is a better film.
Yeah,
Because at least Will Smith is charming and there's funny moments and there's Jaden Will Smith. You talked about how fucking Vin Diesel can't act. Nobody in this film can act. Fuck this movie. Fucking piece of garbage. Bargain bin superhero movie with an okay premise. You guys had to sell me on this film to go see it in theaters. You were like, look at the premise, and I was like, it's okay. And then we watched it. And I was like, this
Little did you know you'd never see a movie in theaters ever again.
yeah, it's the last film we saw in theaters as a group.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's the last one.
We've all seen Tenet separately
Yep.
in theaters since.
We'll
but-
get that on the number 1 worst of the year.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
Tenet.
When we
No.
invert.
We'll get
No,
there.
I'll talk about
If you
New
invert
Mutants.
the list, it's
Yeah.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Infamous. This is a movie no one's heard of. It came out in a drive-in.
Is it based off the game?
Is Mark Wahlberg in it?
No and no. No, I think it's Bella Thorne. Basically a modern version of Bonnie and Clyde, except the gimmick here is that her and her boyfriend, when doing bank robberies and maybe killing people, stream it live. And look,
I
Sounds
hate
like a
this
very
already.
similar movie with Joe Keery that came out this year.
look, it's a problem that I have. And I talked about this in the worst part about Glass a few videos ago, but it has the problem where just because someone posts a video online, that means it'll go viral. You see it all the fucking time in like teen movies about the internet. Like shit doesn't just go viral. Like, oh my goodness, this person is robbing a bank, but they're also putting their tongue out and posing in a funny TikTok pose. Ha ha. Oh my god. And this video is like fucking 5 minutes long. You know how fucking TikTok works? 10 seconds, maybe longer, maybe less, but it's not 5 fucking
I
minutes.
think they have a 1-minute cap.
They have a
Yeah, I'm
minute
pretty
cap.
sure it's a minute.
Yeah, you can't stream TikTok unless you can. Maybe I'm just not aware. I'm not exactly a
cannot.
TikTok fan.
Who fucking cares?
Who fucking cares? You can't just like. Oh my! I could post a video right now of me just gunning both of you down in this studio. It's not gonna get 10 million clicks.
It would be the most viewed video on this channel.
It would be, but
Fun fact, by the way, it would end up getting a lot of views because the news would play it
fair.
on your trial.
That's a good point. That is a good point. However,
But it's not instant. That would take weeks.
that would take a long time, and they stream and they just get this huge fan base from having no fan base, and it's like it's so frustrating. And also, aside from the logic flaws, yeah, no, the dialogue is just not it, Chief. Like I don't know who wrote it. I don't know if anyone wrote it. Maybe the actors just said words.
It's one of those things where like we made a bot write this movie about TikTok.
It's exactly that. Except it's like taking every heist movie, but like a road heist. You know what it is? It's Den of Thieves, but infinitely less good.
She used to be a Disney Channel star. Yeah.
Disney Channel, yeah. No,
Dude,
this
they
is.
fucked their stars up hard.
I would rather watch a Disney Channel movie than this
you know
one.
who was out? You know who was the other chick on Shake It Up though? Zendaya.
Who was
Talk about
Yeah.
fucking duality of man right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Bella Thorne is just not making it.
So I'm gonna talk about my number 2 because I have a fucking problem. Hey Netflix, where you at? I watched this movie, and I was bedridden for a couple days, and I'm like, all right, I'm running out of shit to watch. I watched fucking Lovebirds, and I'm like, then this is better than the movie I watched prior. Coffee and Kareem. I forgot who the white guy in this movie was. It's Ed Helms. How do I forget Ed Helms? You want to know why?
He wasn't memorable.
Most forgettable fucking movie I've ever seen. It blows my mind how a movie that's supposed to be a comedy can be so unfunny the whole time. There's maybe half a good joke about a cop fucking his mom at some point that another kid actor says. It's generic garbage. I love Ed Helms. He's great in Tag. He's good in We're the Millers because he is in We're the Millers. He's the fucking bad guy who ruins Jason Sudeikis' life by making him do the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
Fucking Vacation. That movie's funny. He's funny. Ed Helms is funny. And in this movie, I don't even think the funniest man alive. Who's the funniest dude alive? Fucking like Dave Chappelle?
John Mulaney?
Yeah, thank you. You could have the golden trio of comedians in this movie.
You could resurrect George Carlin.
And it would probably still be a 0.
Hmm.
Nobody can save this. Get the white guy to make jokes because he's banging the black girl. And it's like, Jesus, this is just a racially charged piece of garbage, isn't it? And it's just not good.
All right, Mud, what's your number 2?
Oh, baby, it's Call of the Wild.
Yeah!
Fuck this movie. Ian and I saw it in theaters together, and it was a great time. It was so bad.
Dude, don't punch me in the balls.
I was about to ask if this was the movie where I punched you in the dick.
Mud, we were making fun of the movie and laughing at it, and Mud was like tapping my leg. He punched me straight in the junk. That was the most enjoyable part of that theater experience. Getting punched in the balls.
I don't have anything else to say. Ian just said everything for me.
Fair enough. To move on from Call the Nut Punch, I'm going to move on to my number 2. This is a movie that I have not finished watching. I think you guys know exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Mank.
Our number 1.
It's probably your number 1's. Artemis Fowl. Specifically,
Yeah!
the first 5 minutes. Now, you might ask yourself, well, how could I talk about a movie when I haven't seen the full movie? That's like my pet peeve. I only do it in one very specific circumstance.
Jay, can I just say, I appreciate that you're going to talk about this one thing, because now Ian and I can talk about the rest of the fucking movie.
Yeah, no, you
I'm
guys
in.
are going up next. This is absolutely you guys' number 1s. Not to spoil it or anything, but you guys talk about literally everything else, because there's plenty, I'm sure, wrong with it. But I only talk about movies I haven't fully seen in one specific case, and that is when they hit a point of irredeemability, where there is nothing past this point this movie can do that will unpiss me off. And it hit it in the first 5 minutes. I pulled up on my phone Artemis Fowl and put on subtitles so you wouldn't hear it. And it said, continue watching. And I was like, bet, that's where I left off. And I opened it up and I read the exact line of fucking dialogue that made me turn the movie off. They're introducing Artemis Fowl as the smartest kid of all time or whatever, as like a prodigy, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, he's so good. He jerks off 10 people at the same time without blinking. He can build a building in 10 days. Oh my God. There's a line in there. When he was 7, he beat European chess champion Evan Khashoggi in 5 moves. Now, not to educate the world or anything about, because the chess isn't exactly a popular thing pre-Queen's Gambit, but chess is my bread and butter. It is my favorite game of all time, including all of video games. It just is. It always will be. It stands the test of time over thousands of years. Chess is what I do. I love chess. I suck at it. I want to point it out.
You're still the best player in this room.
Fair, but that's because I actually play it. So, this line of dialogue, he beat European chess champion Evan Khashoggi in 5 moves. European chess champion. That means that he's one of the maybe 10, 20, 30 best people in the fucking world at chess. If you've ever played chess in your whole life, you know that the only way to lose in 5 moves is if you blunder checkmate in 5 fucking moves. You can't blunder checkmate if you're at all a grandmaster, let alone a European fucking grandmaster, in 5 moves. 5 moves implies that you opened your pawn, and then he opened his pawn, and you pulled out your king, and then the next few moves you just walked your king into the middle of the board, and then he checkmates you with the queen really quickly. Like, Are you fucking kidding me right now? It's like saying, to make it like a metaphor, oh, he beat Usain Bolt at sprinting in 3 seconds. Get fuck out of here. He's Usain fucking Bolt. Even if he could run as fast as Usain Bolt, you can't do it in 3 seconds. It makes no fucking sense. So they immediately established this character that they haven't shown the character prior to this point in the movie. They're building to this character during this moment. But this character broke the space-time reality of my brain by having that line of dialogue in there. So immediately, like, my system processing in my head just shut down. Like when a computer overloads and just crashes, like, oh no.
The one cog in his brain
Yep.
stopped turning.
The one wooden cog.
The wooden cog snapped. It snapped the fucking... I gotta rebuild the cog after that point. So yeah, 0.
So moving on from the throwaway line of dialogue in the opener.
Yep.
Ian, what's your number 1?
I want to joke and be like, New Mutants, but I can't. It's Artemis
It's
Fowl.
Artemis Fowl.
Go ahead.
Holy fucking shit. Let's go off about how everything
careful with
else
my
is wrong with this movie. Thank
So-
you, Jake.
So, hey Disney, why?
Who the fuck?
It's like the movie is the table reading for the movie.
Not even. Not fucking even. You know what? I'm gonna fire in. Half of this movie is ADR. Half of this movie
yeah.
is fucking ADR. You can tell. Jake, you didn't see this. Half of this movie is ADR because no one is ever facing the fucking camera.
Well, I'm gonna talk about that in a different movie that came out this year because it's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is. I'm like, man, there are so many talented. Like Judi Dench is talented.
Judy, that's just hella talented. We just.
Colin Farrell. I might not like some of his movies, but he's good.
He's great.
He sucks pee-pee, and Judi Dench is Cats level bad in this movie.
Oh my god. Top of the morning to you to no one.
Yeah.
Dude, no. So.
I'm surprised I didn't play the fucking song.
To build on what Jake was talking about, they established Artemis Fowl as like a self-insert OC into a really bad fan fiction. Except it's not fan fiction, it's an actual story. I am given to understand he's just as shitty and like a super genius in the books. And it's like, who the fuck reads this and goes, what a deep, complex, interesting character with faults, motivation? And it's like, no, he sucks. I think I killed Ian.
He's a self-insert fanfic character.
He
Fucking
is.
killed me.
He's the perfect child. Nothing's wrong with him. Everyone worships the ground he fucking walks on. And the movie is so low stakes and boring as sin, and it makes no fucking sense.
It's not even faithful to the book.
It's
Because he
not.
doesn't have a mom, but he has a mom in the book.
He has a mom in the books. I don't think the Aculos is a thing, period.
I don't fucking
I don't
know.
think
I
the-
hated the book.
But even beyond not being book accurate, it's so fucking stupid the entire time. Like, it's like, what was it? Like, he wants to trade the elf girl for the Aculos, because that'll bring his dad back or something. But the Aculos is in his fucking house! And what he actually...
This was my plan the whole
to
time.
get Mulch Diggums, aka Dirt Shitters, to open the vault. And it's like, you live here! Just open the fucking vault. It's not established, like, that he doesn't know how to open this goddamn vault. And if he can beat Grand Champion Chess Wizard fucking Cranky Anchor or whoever the fuck in 5 goddamn turns, he can open a vault. You know what opens a goddamn vault? Dynamite!
So I'm gonna fire in immediately. Josh Gad's fucking terrible.
Oh, in this movie? Yeah.
Overall, not a big Josh Gad guy.
I can't think of anything else he's in.
He's
right
in
now.
Frozen.
Beauty and the Beast, the new one.
Oh, yeah. Didn't see either of those.
So Josh Gad in this movie, he's like knockoff Hagrid, but
Let me show
infinitely
you.
awful.
The Legend of Artemis Fowl. That was from
Fun
trailers.
fact, you know how I mentioned that Spencer Confidential made me wish that I wasn't from here? This movie makes everybody in Ireland wish they were still British. This movie.
I thought it was the funniest fucking thing. Not to insert,
No, you're
but like
good, you're good.
When the pandemic first hit and Disney was like, "Fuck, delay Mulan, delay MCU movies." Artemis Fowl,
Disney Plus. It
Disney
wasn't
Plus.
Gonna make...
Who
They knew
fucking
that shit
cares
wasn't
about
gonna make
Artemis
money.
Fowl? Dude, this movie is an hour and a half long. Feels like 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Mud already said it's criminally boring. But like, who fucking tried?
No one.
Honestly. Kenneth Branagh should have Alan Smithied this. If I directed this movie, I would have been like, no.
Why would he direct it in the first place? I
No.
can get why David Lynch would want to direct Dune.
Jake,
But-
people direct films for money.
Oh, that's a good point. You like
Drugs
to
I'm
make
pretty
cost
sure
money.
it's like the same reason that Peter Jackson did Mortal Engines or produced it so that he could make They Shall Not Grow Old.
I am under the impression that if you take a book and turn it into a movie, it's going to be the worst piece of garbage that anyone's ever seen. How many good book adaptations are there?
I don't know if I agree with that. I mean,
I think there are
because
plenty of good book adaptations.
yeah, I mean, you got something like Irishman on there. I mean, there's
That's
ways.
based on a true story.
That's based
too.
on like
But it was
life.
based on the
based
book.
on a fictional book. Let me think about this for a moment.
It's like some of the Harry Potter movies are good. I can concede that.
I mean, it's more so. It depends on the book. Like, if it's a very long book and you try to make it 1 2 hour movie, then yeah, you're gonna leave a lot
I
out.
don't think many YA films are good.
No,
But
I don't like any of the Hunger Games movies actually.
I would also argue there are cases where maybe cutting stuff out of the book is a good thing for the movie.
Yes, but when you cut out the whole book and make Artemis Fowl,
I haven't seen Artemis. I've read
Dude.
Artemis Fowl. I should say. I don't know
Honestly,
anything about it.
I think this movie
Oh, I
permits-
got it. You know what the best film based on a novel is?
Frankenstein.
The Godfather.
There you go. There you go.
I was close. Artemis Fowl is what a director shouldn't do. You commit every cardinal sin by making this movie. And you know what? Kenneth Branagh probably didn't fucking direct this movie.
What
I'm
I'm
gonna be
telling
honest.
you, he probably did it like tit for tat. Like, oh, we'll let you make Murder on the Orient Express 2, Death in the Nile, but you got to make Artemis Fowl.
He's probably
for us
thinking to
and-
himself like, "Oh shit, I just got this really expensive garden. I gotta kind of pay it off. Oh,
no,
you know what?
No. Disney's like, all right, Kenny, you know what we're gonna do? You're gonna put your name on this piece of shit. We're gonna do everything. And he went, I guess.
I'm telling you, he definitely like got like, you know, you get to make this passion project that you want to make or something, but we need you to make Artemis Fowl.
Because you know how Disney is with their I want to control what you're doing here.
Yep.
Mhm.
I wholeheartedly believe Kenneth Branagh had nothing to do with this movie.
Fair.
It's like Tarantino with the Protector level. Like, Kenneth Branagh presents.
if you watch like interviews that the director does for the movie, you can usually like tell his level of passion for his own movie.
Yeah.
So
And honestly, I'm surprised. I think this movie's so good, Kenneth Branagh shouldn't have even shown up to the interviews. That's how passionate it is.
fair enough.
I'm more passionate about hating it than they are about the movie making it.
All right,
And that is the biggest thing for me.
guys, that was a phenomenal joint #1 pick you guys did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it to a new level,
Bring it down a
Oh,
level.
Bring it down.
no.
a whole nother level because
It's like the platform. There's just more levels
more.
down there.
This is level 333 of movies. Cuties. Now I should clarify. I have a big long talk about this, but I was not interested in this movie because but aside from all the controversy, I wasn't interested in like a coming of age drama from France. It's not really my kind of genre of movie, you know.
Mhm.
But everything exploded online. That poster dropped. Maybe
Oh my god, that poster.
That poster's just softcore porn.
that poster, I contend, might be the worst piece of marketing for any film ever made. And then I watched the trailer as much as I could, and I saw why it blew up and it got all this negative exposure. But what I saw was that people who lambasted and destroyed this movie hadn't seen it. They saw the trailer and the poster and they went, "Oh man, this is the worst sin on humanity." Like, how do you know? You're assuming that based on what, 2 minutes of footage? It's a 2-hour film. Like, now I get it. You can make an assumption based off that, but at the end of the day, like, you've only seen a very select portion of the film.
Mhm.
So I bit the bullet. One night, I committed myself. I forced myself to not turn it off because I knew I would really want to. I made myself sit in my bed, put on my TV for however long the movie was, and I watched this movie. Now, admittedly, I did turn my head away at a lot of scenes that I simply could not make myself watch, but I did not pause or except to go to the bathroom. I did not turn off the movie. I just wanted to get it out of the way,
You
like
have to
ripping
go
a
to the
Band-Aid
bathroom
off.
to throw up.
Throw up, yeah. No, just rip a Band-Aid off, just watch the whole thing, get it over with. I wanted to equip myself to talk about it. I wanted to arm myself with the opinion of a person who has actually seen the movie as opposed to like an angry comments section. So
now I'm going to be an angry comment
so
section.
now to get into this, there's a lot there's so much happening with this movie. And at the very end of the day, there's really not. So here's the thing. In this movie is a 9 out of 10. In this movie is a movie about a girl trying to find her way in the world that rewards hypersexualization of children, and she doesn't know how to carry herself and what to do with herself in her own eyes because her culture believes in I believe one man with many women, and he's getting another wife, and they're supposed to celebrate that or something like that. And she's just like, this is so fucked up. I don't agree with this at all. And you see that dichotomy of her traditionalist culture in that section of the world versus modern day apps that are knockoff TikTok that reward sexualization of children. And it's actually a really interesting and important message that came out kind of right before TikTok started to really blow up. So in that sense, there's a lot going for this movie. And like I keep saying, in this movie is a 9 out of 10. And on that level, it has this amazing message. Now,
Now, your message and theme only goes so far as the execution of the film.
yeah, okay, so now you're touching on something.
I got you.
So, in the execution of the film,
There's a negative 10 out of 10.
a negative 100 out of 10. No, I keep saying in this movie is a 9 out of 10. However, in order to convey this message that the hypersexualization of children is a bad thing, they hypersexualize children at many points throughout the movie. Like, almost, like, 1 out of every 3 scenes, I want to say, is either one or multiple underage women dancing to sexy music and, like, revealing themselves a little bit and just it being gross. Like, absolute gross things. There is a way that, like, if this fucked up pedophile in the world had Netflix, they could use this as softcore child porn, and it's disgusting to think about. It's awful to think about. And this movie does that. I understand from the director's point, the director's done many interviews about this because of the controversy, but I understand the director's goal in trying to show that this is a bad thing. However, the director has committed the exact same crimes that she has demonized in the movie throughout the whole movie, culminating in this extended 10-minute dance sequence towards the end of the movie, which is the poster shot. But that poster is very photoshopped and glitzy. But that scene in the movie is in the movie. It's still there. And
do you remember that scene in Little Miss Sunshine where she does an over-sexualized dance?
Yep.
Everyone's horrified.
Yeah.
And that's the culmination of the film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Miss Sunshine does it for comedic effect in a very short sequence. This movie does it consistently in very serious contexts. And it really, really bothers me that you hypersexualize children in a 2-hour film on Netflix to show
not hypersexualizing children.
To show that this is bad. Like, you can criticize, for example, a superhero movie saying like, oh, they blew up the whole city. Fuck this stupid movie. Everyone's just dying. But they didn't blow up a city to shoot the movie. No cities were harmed in the production of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. You know what I mean?
They don't make a whole point at the beginning of the movie where fucking Iron Man's like, we can't keep blowing up cities, and then he levels goddamn New York to stop Loki, and he's like, you're a hypocrite.
So for that reason, actually just that reason, no other reasons, because again, like, aside from all of the really dumb execution shit, the really main execution shit, there is an excellent message here that gets completely buried and overshadowed by how it was done. And personally, I really don't think that it's an okay thing to do. I am all for artistic expression. I am all for showing whatever you feel is appropriate to show on screen to get your messages and themes across, but you do not have to actually sexualize children to do that ever.
Yep.
And that really pissed me off. So, yeah, worst movie of the year, maybe worst of the decade, even though we started the decade just now.
I will fire in a little bit because of what I have seen of the movie, which is
the trailer.
So no, I've watched 2 separate reviews where they've watched a couple scenes and then, you know,
I watched one
highlighted the some of those scenes. The message of the movie gets completely lost because of the execution.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you say there is a 9 here, if the director said sexualizing children is bad, that's a 9.
Yep.
And then the director goes, kid, get naked. And it's like, dog, what? Are you kidding me? It is. I almost threw up watching, like, the small amount of scenes that I did.
I know the feeling.
It is,
like,
absolutely. Your metaphor was spot on. It's just not right. It's like if you made a movie about, like, killing people and, like, the Holocaust, but you performed the Holocaust to do it.
Yeah, like, it flies in the face of what the message of the movie is, which is that it's a bad thing.
It's absolutely atrocious in execution. And I understand, like, artistic value as well, but when your artistic value is doing the exact fucking thing that you're highlighting is one of the biggest problems in the country, and I will stand by that. The sexualization of young people, not even just girls, of young children in the society, especially young women, is a fucking abomination.
It is.
And how we have the beauty standards in this country is a fucking abomination.
We've been talking about the moral aspect, but isn't it a crime legally?
Yeah.
Pedophilia?
Yeah.
Yeah, fun
No,
fact.
Yeah,
no, no,
jail.
no. Broadcasting softcore child pornography to the world. Isn't that like a...
ownership of child porn is illegal. That's why Texas sued Netflix to get it taken down and argued it's child porn.
There's a solid argument to make that this is
There
child
is,
porn.
especially with like the exorcism scene that
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
was
Mm-hmm. And like,
wild.
I would really not
Yeah.
want to hear the arguments of the side defending the movie in the court battle if that were the case.
But it's not that pedophile.
Yeah.
Jail.
Because whatever they say is going to be defending this product, and that's going to be
Congratulations,
tough.
you're defending pedophilia.
Yeah, if you win, you really lose the case, like,
Yeah.
morally. So.
Yep. And I can't go into as much detail as you because I have not seen the entire film, nor will I.
I do not blame you at all.
But from what I have seen and from what people have talked about, I can completely agree that even though I did not put it on my list because I did not watch the whole movie and I have only watched select scenes,
Fair.
that I can probably agree with you that Artemis Fowl is a big piece of shit, but this is
It's something more than a bad
something
movie.
wrong.
Yeah.
There is something morally incorrect about this movie existing, and that trumps all movie.
It might be based on the behind what had to happen to get this movie made. It might be the worst movie ever. This maybe like Triumph of the Will, I'd say maybe are like two of like the actual, aside from them being a bad film like made, like they're
There's
worst.
a message there that
There's-
that's completely
Yup.
A, the message of Triumph of the Will is that Nazis are good people.
Yep.
Or
Yeah.
people at all.
Yep.
And B,
Message of cuties is pedophilia.
the message
Pedophiles
of
are
cuties
people.
is accidentally pedophilia.
Yep.
And it's accidental, but it's still there.
It's tough because like it's weird that the director and no one behind the movie or in front of the camera even.
Was like, this is the wrong way to do
It's
this.
Yeah.
because it's the goddamn French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. The French have so much sexualization in their films. Have you guys ever seen Blue is the Warmest Color?
Yeah.
There are
No, you have a point.
5-minute extended scenes with those girls just 69ing graphically, and it's like, this adds nothing. I'm just watching lesbian porn.
You're correct.
I
There
don't-
is the it's a culture difference for sure. That being said, still not okay. Even in their culture, that wouldn't be okay.
It just morally, it's not a good thing. It's like murder. I would put child porn on the level of something like that. Maybe not like as bad as killing a guy, but like it's there.
I'd put it
argue
on the
child
same
porn's
level.
Worse than murder.
I'd say they're the same level because if you're talking about without context, they're the same level. With context, it's child porn's worse.
And again, we're
There's-
straying away from film
There's
conversation.
no
but-
context where it's like, yeah, I was
Let's-
self-defensing child porn.
Let's
Yeah.
wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we've gone a little bit
in
too far.
honor of the worst year, we
Yep.
did the top 5 worst, and stay tuned
Yeah.
for our top 10 best. Because
Do we
that's
have-
actually what we want to talk about.
Yeah, I think my number one
Yeah.
is going to be Cuties.